Welcome back, everybody. Today I have a new review, my second review, that being the concept design Shockwave for my new universe.
So, if you're just wondering now, it's a whole separate universe. It's a new reboot called Transformers New Order or Disposition. I'm not really too sure. I haven't greenlit the name yet, but taking a closer look at Shockwave, this guy is extremely huge. Like, he's been taking way too many energon, and he is a bit dusted because I have not touched him in a while. So he has not been touched. I did plan on doing a review, and now it's the review. So he has a lot more purple than I originally wanted him to. He doesn't look too much like his G1 counterpart, but you will recognize him as Shockwave. One of the newest added things I decided to add were these black parts. These little black shoulder pads. I have done the same thing with Optimus Primal on my TikTok page, which you can check out, but I have done the very same thing on him. He has a lot of brand new techniques that I added onto him, which of course not many others have, especially with this new hand thing I've done. But he has a really attributed design, even though some parts tend to fall off. And he's not meant to be played around with, but just as a nice standing there type character. Standing him up though, so you can properly see him, he is a lot more darker in person, but due to the lighting here, it clearly looks brighter. Although I do like it brighter, I think darker is preferred. So I'm going to get out the size comparisons, and we'll begin off with there. Alright, now into size comparison time. So size comparison, I'm going to bring upon the Rise of the Beast Studio Series Cheetor, which is a bit mistangled, but here he is compared to the Rise of the Beast Cheetor. Cheetor is a whole lot bigger, so Cheetor is a whole lot taller compared to Shockwave. So that's the Cheetor. Taking off Cheetor here will show off Ironhide. And Ironhide is a very small Voyager, so he looks really big and stuff. I mean, I wouldn't say they look great together because I did do an Ironhide. It's a completely different story, but they look really good. Now I'm going to show off the Generation 1 Shockwave with the Transformers Red line. Shockwave, give me a minute. Now showing off the Transformers Red Shockwave, whose feet is super unbalanced. He's really small. Okay, you don't really see it through my camera visual, but I mean, he's literally like a whole lot shorter. In this visual, he looks taller, but he's actually a whole lot shorter than him, surprisingly. But the reason why he looks different, it's very weird, because here's the difference. He has this pad, these pretty much is all green. Hold on. It's out of focus. This is pretty much all like light gray. This is light gray there. So, light gray in the feet, that has purple, and then pretty much he has a whole lot more light gray than purple there. Out of focus. So, there's a whole lot of differences, especially in more black departments. Like this thing has black, this is purple. And he transforms into one of those mechs that have like 2 legs and like guns for arms. Like those weird, like a tank mech, where he has like weird horse feet, and he has like a, you know, he doesn't really have arms. They're like guns, and he starts moving around. Like the things from The Last Night, but more Cybertronian-like. That scene where Bumblebee killed this weird mech. That's one of the things that he transforms into. So that's what that is. If you want to know how well he scales with Marvel Legends, he towers over them. Barely. But I can't show you because his foot came off while posing him once. So that's that. And we also have a very tall guy who can't fit the frame. We got Yellow Park Optimus Prime. I don't think I even need to show you the head. He just towers over him. And he has been through a lot because of my dear cats who have knocked them down. So that's that. I'm going to move on to articulation next. But before I go into that, I'm going to show you one more guy. The other character that I wanted to show you guys is a mercenary in the Cybertronian War. Now, what I mean by the Cybertronian War was pretty much the uprising of it. Now, this dealer is, I don't really have a name for it. You can comment down, but he is not my next review, and he is this weird amalgamation dealer. Scratch that. He's actually not. Pretty much before the start of the war, he's pretty much the middle near the end of the war, because he is a Shockwave experiment. So, hence the weird Shadow Striker type appearance, and he does have a whole tuxedo appearance type thing, except for these. I don't think that they really have those, but a professional with a weird beast-like hand. But he's one of Shockwave's experiments, alongside Shadow Striker and Lockdown, which, yes, it's a new universe, so I could change different aspects of it. But this guy is shorter than Shockwave, if not at least almost his height. But for some reason, near the camera, you don't really see that angle. I can see clearly that he is a whole lot smaller than him, but not in this angle. He's not my next review, though. I think I might just show him in TikTok, but that's it. But I haven't even finished him yet. But he is not my next review, so do not expect him for the next review. But do not expect him to be for the next review. Alright, now into accessories. Surprisingly, he doesn't really come with a lot. But so he doesn't really come with anything for the back. And I did forget to mention the back, but there is the back. Articulation will be in a second, but he only comes with pretty much a variety of 2 accessories. Scratch that, 3 accessories. Sorry for all the scratching, it's just really out of hand sometimes when it comes to my memory. But he comes with his alternate pretty much hand for that, which he does use pretty much only once in the universe. He doesn't really use it ever again during the war, which is only when he wants to grab certain massive artifacts. And he also comes with 2, if not 1 energon. No, he comes with 1 energon cube, which is dark energon, that he would have scavenged. And how to put it in his hand is very simple. You simply just open the hand up, and since you see there's a slot right there, you use these studs, and you simply just qualify it right there, and then you close up the hands, and there you have it. He is holding some dark energon. So that's pretty much it. And then you can clearly pull it out, and remember to hold it like this. Remember these 2 parts. If you do this piece will come off and you'll have to remove it from the body. But if you hold it like this and you make sure these separate pieces go in there, it will not snap off, if not both of them. But he also comes with this piece, and what that does is that is a stand port. And he doesn't include the stand, of course, but he is allowed to use the stand. And how the stand is pretty large, so the stand is this glorified mess, this uncolored thing. And how this works is pretty much, you just simply, if you have this piece, I'll show you how it works in a second, but there's a ratchet joint right there. It's not focusing. There we go. It's not focusing. This focusing is really out of hand, and it is dusty because I have not used this stand in a while. And there's a ratchet joint right there, which you can rotate and angle it for the statue if you want it to go like this. And the ratchet joint, only one here, and the reason why this is here is to accommodate for that. So if you want it to swivel, you can. But this is to depending on how you want him to, how you want the stand to be used. So let's just say, angling that a bit more there. If you want him to use the stand almost slightly off the ground, you can do that. And if you really want him above the ground, or pretty much barely, because that piece is removable, you can have that piece like that. But if you get the stand, you will get this piece too. So what you do is you unhinge this, and you connect that for pretty much ultra layer. You rotate that, and then you secure that in, and that's how that works. How the stud works is a bit more different. You find pretty much every part of the back is removable, and what you do is simply find the picked port, snap that in there. Focus, focus. This is really out of focus for today, but you find the stance, you either shove it up there, up his ass, or it's usually embedded in him in most characters. But and that's how the stand works. The stand pretty much, you can pose him like a normal Transformers character in midair. And you can just remove him back down, put him back down, and that works. So that's how the stand works. You get a port for every single character, and yeah, like I said, you get a port for every single character. But most characters using this frame for this guy, they usually have a port. Well, not for him, because he doesn't really need the port. He's always grounded when it comes to dealing stuff. He does come with his own energon supply as well, but we're not reviewing him today. But all of them come with it. Even the ones with the specific frame, like the dealer's frame, comes already with a stud. But mostly with this frame, which does get remolded and retooled a lot, does come with their own separate piece where you can simply remove a few pieces and add it back on. And then you just simply add those back in there. I'm acting like it's a figure because if it's like a figure, it's an action figure. Alright, now articulation is the game. The deal of game we're talking about right here. So articulation is wild, almost. Sorry, I need to catch my breath. The head is on a ball joint, so it can go up that far. Down that far, can tilt side to side. Now the reason why I have to be careful is because if I don't, either this piece will come off, there's a reason for that in a minute, or the ball joint will come out of the body and it would cost me a lot of time to take off. So, and it can rotate all around, and the reason why these move is because this is how he talks. In the film, well, pretty much in the story, this slightly opens. Lord Megatron, I am no longer sick from the boy. Well, whatever, but that's how that works. Simply push these open, and they simply splay open, like as if I'm Shockwave and I'm talking like this. And that's how it works. And you can slightly shift it up and down, and these things are able to move as well. The arms, however, are really neat. There's a swivel, there's a pretty much hinge here, but if you hinge, oh, you already know how that works now. But if you simply softly hinge that out of, okay, maybe it's a little bit more difficult, but if you hinge this slightly out of the way and you notice that this is like this, the arms can really go out nicely. No scratch of paint because this is a Lego, okay? It's molded paint. But alright, so the arms can go up that far with the hinge. So if you slightly swivel it out of the way, you can get the arms about that far. And look at the smoothness. That's the best part about the shoulder. Well, not really that, because this piece prevents it from coming off and just slightly sliding down. But it can go up about that far. Arms can barely go a 90-degree bend. Individually articulated fingers, ball joint up, down, all around. Oh, okay, there's barely any motion there, but what can you do? That comes off rarely easily if you have it in the lock mode. The arms can go all the way around. That piece comes off. That piece comes off. Give me a minute. That was not supposed to come off like that. That was really terrible. Alright, back. But he also has a secret joint that I recently implemented, which you can see, which is a butterfly joint. Which, depending on where you put the ball joint, can really get you creative into those poses. So that is wonderful. So this one doesn't really have that much motion because of the pipe there. He does get a butterfly joint, but really limited. So you can see the piece comes off right there. So but there's a ball joint at the torso which can tilt side to side barely, swivel all the way around. You have to be careful with the swivel because you will pop some pieces out. You can go up that far and down that far. The legs can go barely up, but if you hinge this little piece up, you can get some up, but really limited. He does have double jointed legs. A piece came off, so you can easily snap it back and push that forward. There's a ball joint at the leg, can go tilt side to side. And if you extend this piece, you can get the ball joint to go forward and backward. Slight toe joint. So this guy is really stacked with articulation. He's stacked with pretty much almost everything here. In the same issue I had, well, not the same issue, but yeah, technically same issue I had with the Bumblebee movie Megatron I made, is that it's not composed well. It does compose of a lot of hinges, which really break off the character and damages it in a lot of ways of articulation. But sometimes it's really worth it like this. Where you can see some nice new chest design. So sometimes it's either very worth it or it's not worth it. Like a piece that just came off of him here. So very not worth it. But yeah, that is a very, very messy review of Shockwave. And if you want me to rate him, I'd say he's a solid 8 out of 10. Because the design in general I really do like. I think if you don't like it, you can get used to it. But I think he's worth a shot. Granted, the accessories are really lacking, but I think you should, if I would ever give a tutorial and you would have this in hand, I think he is worth a try. That's all for me. I'm going to head out, make more reviews, and make more mocks. I'll see you in the next one.